Hello everyone, it's Pam here with Tattered Paper and Lace, and I wanted to come today and just show you what I'm doing, what's on my desk. I wasn't very creative feeling, and so I just came into the craft room and said, you know what, I'm just gonna see what I can do with some of these scraps I have left over. I've been kind of cleaning up after putting my signatures together for my steampunk, which is going to go into the cover very soon. And I decided that I would do some, I thought I would bust some scraps. And so what I did was I have a whole lot of Tim Holtz tags, product tags. And I keep these and other product tags. Here's a 7 Gypsy. Here's an industrial sheet. So any of the tags, product tags, packaging that I like and think I could make, make over, as you will, for some tags, I would keep those. And I have those in a box. And then I haven't done anything with them in a while. So I thought that I'm going to bust scraps. So I took some of my tags, some of my product packaging, and I just took scraps and covered the back. The backs of them look like this. It has all the information on the back, like this. So I thought I will just, because the front, all you have to do on the front is cover up this part, and you can use this. So I like to just alter them some, not completely, because it's less trouble if you just do it some. So I covered the backs that held all the information with scraps. I just found a piece of scrap, and I did piecing and parting and all that together to make it, and I would put a little bit of interest on there. This is a printable paper, not a printable paper, a computer stationery paper. This is pieced together. I don't know if you can see that there's pieces. There's like 3 pieces that make up that. This was just some digital leftover that I had. This is just a scrap that I had not quite long enough, so I added a little piece to it. This is 3 strips of coffee dyed paper that were cut-offs. And this is packaging paper. And I think there's 2 pieces here. No, that's one piece. I think that was part of a paper bag. And I just covered up all the backs so that now I can just take this tag when I need to make a journaling card or a tag or whatever. I already have journaling space on the back. And then I can decorate the front as I wish, whether I want to cover up the whole thing, whether I just want to cover up parts. I have these ready to go. So then I'll just put these in my stash. They will be ready to go. I'm going to keep them with the side up that I used. And I thought I would show you how quick and easy that is. I'm sure I'm not the first person that's ever done this, but I think we forget sometimes when we've seen a video, then we forget that we saw it, and then that idea goes by the wayside. And so I'm just bringing the idea back. I'm sure others have done it. I have no idea. Didn't look and see. But the other thing that I'm going to do, besides doing the backs and making my product tags either be a tag and or journaling space, which they all will be journaling space because that's why I put those plain pieces on the back. I also like to make scrappy pads. And this is, let me show you. I can show you here. This is another Tim Holtz packaging that, let me get one because they're a little bit different. This is Tim Holtz packaging like this. So this was just like this. This is some of the tags that I have of his, some of the ephemera pieces. And if you take this and fold it over like that and burnish it so that it will stay folded over, and then you have a back that has nothing on it. You have this, has nothing on it up here, except this texture that his product tags are, or product packaging is. And then you have this, which was here. And I just covered it again with pieces. That's part of the scrappy pad. There, I just covered it up with pieces. And then I stacked more pieces, more scraps, just plain scraps that can be written on. I just stacked them up, glued them all in, and this is all glued in, so I don't have to do anything else to it. So you don't have to have a sewing machine, you don't have to have anything but glue. And then I had a piece of vellum that I just put over this plain part right here to give that a little bit of interest. And then I had this stamped piece of tissue. I believe it's a sewing pattern tissue that I had, and I like to put on the front of my scrappy pads, I like to put something a little decorative. You don't have to, it's just what I like to do. But I make these scrappy pads, and then this can go into a pocket or a belly band, slide over a belly band, and that can go in a journal. So I wanted to show you how I do that as well. Also, let me just see if I can find real quickly, because I have a couple here in my steampunk journal. Let me raise you up just a little bit. In my steampunk journal, I have put a couple of these scrappy pads in here. At least two. I think two's in here. Let's see if I can find them. I meant to get those out and I forgot. So, yeah, here's one. Now this one, I haven't done anything on the back side, because if you, except it says kookaburra. I just thought that was a cool word. And I may leave it because that's just days of the month. I mean, months of the year. So I may just leave that like that. But this is just a little tiny scrappy pad. It says scratch pad on it. And I just have it tucked in this pocket. And this was a product. This was a product packaging from somebody that I can't remember, because I've already covered it up, and I covered up the inside here. And that's just stuck in there like that. And then I did a bigger one. Let's see. I haven't put this book block in yet, but I'm going to. Another way to use up scraps is to make a little scrappy journal inside your journal. Now this one is made with bits and pieces of printed paper of some variety. Most of them are very old. Let's see if I can find that other one. I think I have it clipped, yes, to the top. That's easy to find. Here. So I just have this one clipped to the top. This is another scrappy pad. This one has no backing, just the paper. Just has a little topper on it that is sewn around, number put on there, with just this piece of scrapbooking paper to give it a little interest on the front. And then again, it's just scraps. Just bits and pieces of scraps. They're not all the same size. I didn't want them to be all the same size. I wanted the edges torn or not. It just, you know, it's very simple, very quick. I'm not doing anything special with this. Get that on there. Come on. There we go. And that goes right in there. So that is how I use these scrappy pads in a journal. Is just tuck them in pockets, belly band, so clip them on, you know, just whatever works. So I wanted to show you how I do this, and then we'll do this large tag here. I'm not going to do this big one because I don't want to. I don't want one that big, but I do have this product packaging right here, and I've already picked out some pages, and I've got little scraps over here, and I have a drawer full of scraps that I'm going to use. Now on this one, I actually like this little design, if you can see that, along the bottom. My lighting seems to be really dark. That's along the bottom of this flap. I like that, so I'm gonna leave that, and I'm going to probably just cover the top of this, and I'm not going to cover this. And I may or may not cover the back. Depends on if I want to glue it on a page in a journal or if I want to slip it in a pocket. If I'm going to slip it in a pocket, I will do some paper on the back to make that be a journaling spot. So I have these pieces of paper that are all a similar size to this, but it's not all the same size. And I don't need for it to be. Now, when you do this, you can either plan to cover up the hole, which I did not do on this one because I wanted it there, because then I'm going to put a tab in that and I can stick that in a pocket and then it'll have something to pull by. And I also left all of the holes in these. These are the only two that I covered it up completely and then I had to go back and cut that hole out. These, I just went up to the hole because I could cover the writing without covering all of this up here. And I did have to cut this hole out. But I think that was it. Three out of all of these that I made that I needed to cut the hole out. You can do it so you don't have to cut the hole out, and that makes it a whole lot easier. Now, I do want, on this piece of paper, I want this rough edge that also has the numbers on it, and it's going to go in here like this. So I need to just make sure that's where I want it to be, at the level I want it to be. So I'm going to just fold this down and tear it off so it's at the length I want it to be. Because I also, this is the only one I think I've got to do anything to that is different, because I think the rest of these are about the right length. This one is not, but that's okay because we'll put it this way. Because I'm just going to barely, I don't want to cut the hole out, don't want to cover up the hole, so I'm just going to put these. I like to stagger them because they're narrower. Most of them are all narrower than the width of what's going to be the base of this. So I am just going to place those like that so that I have a little bit of a border. And I will use this as my guide, just like this. Okay, and then I take it and I put just a little bit of glue along the top, if my glue will work. Just a little bit of glue along the top where these overlap, and I glue that together. So now we have these two pieces glued together. And hopefully I didn't shift that too much. I did shift it a little bit too much. Okay, let's try that again. Let's put a little bit more. I didn't put very much because it wouldn't come out very good. Come on. Okay, there we go. Now, there we go. Okay, so it's not glued down to the base yet. It's just glued to each other. The two pieces of paper are just glued to each other. Now, I don't need that right now because now I know this is the size. I'm going to stay within this width. And then I have these different lengths of papers and different kinds of paper. And I'm just going to, let's do this one, it's a little bit longer. So I'm just going to lay them in, just like this, and just overlap them however I want to do it. Let's see. Let's do this one here. And see, this one is a jagged edged one. So I'm just stacking them on top of each other, just like this, okay? Just like this. And that's how I want to do this one, I think. And I'll rip this off, whatever ones need to be ripped off. I just wanted to keep the numbers on that one. That's the reason I did it a little different. So then let's put this piece down. Is that the next piece I want to do? I think so. Yes. So I'm just going to put this piece down. I'm going to glue it along the edge. And I'm going to stick it down. Okay, now there we go. And then the next one was this one. Glue it along the edge. And stick it down. And this one is next. I'm going to glue it along the edge. And stick it down. And then the last one, I'm going to glue it along this edge. And stick it down. And there you have it. Isn't that cute? And then you're ready to just pop this in here. And then I can tear these off as I need. And I'm just barely going to put it under the flap. Just like that. And I know I want this green one to be at the bottom there. And you can leave them sticking out a little bit longer if you want to. I made this sheet, but this one I'm going to tear a little shorter, just like that, and it'll be like that. And I like it. Okay, now for the little bit of interest on the top, like, let me close this up real quick. The little bit interest on the top, like I did with this little tissue piece, I'm going to use a little piece of doily, just like that. And that's going to be my interest. Oh, let's go ahead and put this little piece. Shall I put this little piece on there? Let's see. I am. I'm going to do this little piece too. And we just pop it right here. Just like that. Yep, I like that. I like this staggered rough edges. And let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I just call this, let's see if we want one more. Here's a piece of, yeah, I think I'll put that too. This will make 8. Yeah, I'm going to do that one too. I like it. I call these my scrappy pads. And I like the way they look. And then you have a little bit of paper. You put it in your journal. You have a little bit of extra paper to just rip off a piece and write a note and stick it down somewhere. So I'm going to put this along the top here because that's going to be my little piece of interest. And that's going to get glued on. Just like that. Put that top on. And I'm just going to stick this on here, just like that. Let's move it over so it's kind of central. Yeah, that's kind of central. Okay. And there is my pad part. Then I'm just going to take this. I'm just going to stick it in here. It's just going to go right under the edge here. I will take my whole little pad and glue it along the back, just at the top edge. Place this on here where I want it to be, just like that. Making sure that I will be overlapping my little topper will be overlapping, just like that. We'll hold that for a few seconds and have that glued. And then that'll be glued down. And see, you can do this, no sewing. If you don't want to do sewing, don't do any sewing. If you don't have a sewing machine, doesn't matter. I probably, when I'm ready to use them, I might go in and sew. I don't know. We'll see. But then, now I'm going to close this top part over this. So I'm just going to put some more glue. And I think I'm going to put glue right in here so that it will help it stay that little, where that, because it's, you know, I'm just going to glue the whole thing, in other words. Okay, and then we'll hold this shut. I've got some clips over here. I'll put some clips over on the side. and over on this side. And I will press it down for just a few minutes while I close my lid on my glue. And then we'll look at it again. And then I will put, I'm going to hold, I need to put a clip on that as well. Another clip here. Put that right there. That's part of what I wanted to do because that one tends to want to poke up. Okay. And there we have it. Now I want to cover up this. I'm going to leave this little border that's down here because I like that. But we'll give this a minute. And this one had staples in it. You could also staple these if you wanted to. That would be quite simple because the whatever was in here, it was some sort of embellishment, but that was in a little bag. It was stapled in. Another thing you can do with these, which I have done before too, is when you take this, make yourself or keep whatever you've taken out, keep the little bag, and then you can put sequins and glitter or whatever inside there and close it back up. I would glue that closed at the top, and then you could staple it in or you could sew it in, and then you would have a little shaker embellishment that you could put. And then you still can put paper on the back to write on. So that's kind of a cute idea too. And I've done that. I did that with buttons. I don't know if I have it handy or not. I used to do memory decks cards, and there's a whole Facebook group that's memory decks related. And I used to do those, and I think I did that on one of these. I'll show you if I can find it real quick. These are fun. Oh, here it is. Yep, here it is. See, that's what I did with this. Memory decks cards are a Rolodex sort of thing. They're Rolodex sort of things, but I made this in 2017. They have the same, but it's height swap idea. You have the box and you make all the cards, and they're a little bit bigger, a little bit taller than Rolodex cards, but it's the same idea. But this was a button package, so I just used some other buttons and some sequins inside here, inside the packaging, and is stapled onto this card, and that's can be an embellishment in a journal. So that goes in there. You know, that's just a fun little thing to do as well. Another way to use up scraps, another way to use up this packaging. I hate to throw away this cool packaging that people use. Okay, so that is now glued down. And I will, like I said, probably go through and stitch around this. I am going to cover up the whole of this one, and the reason being is because it is small, and that this whole opening is kind of large for this size tag. So I'm going to use this to cover that, just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and fold it over the top. It won't cover the hole, and I'm going to leave it because then whatever I put on the back here, I will cover the rest of the hole up. But I'm going to go ahead and fold this over the top just because I want to. It doesn't have to be. Just because I want to do it that way. And let's see where we need to cut that. I'm probably just going to cut it by hand. So let me just fold that up and see where that is. Yeah, right there. That's close enough, I think. Doesn't matter if it's not exact. Again, this is just a quick, easy, not perfect, doesn't have to be perfect project to use up some scraps. And then you've got some ephemera, some things to put in a journal if you should desire. So this is just a little piece of scrapbooking paper that was in my stash. That is, you know, scrap. So I just wanted, I think I didn't cut that straight. Almost, not quite straight. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to just glue this right on top. I'm going to ink along that edge a little bit. You don't have to see you did. This is the only thing I'm inking just because I wanted it to not be white along that edge. So this is going to be my topper on this. And then I'll have another completed scrappy pad. And it took what? How long has it been? I don't know, 10 minutes that I was actually working on this. Something like that. And then let's just put this down here, leaving my little border I wanted to show. Turn that over. And then I'm just going to take this, and I have to bring it over to the edge to do that so I can fold it up. I'm just going to take that little edge and fold it up. Now, I won't need to do anything further to this if I'm going to glue this to a page, which you can do that. You can glue this to a page, just like this, and then the pad would be there to write on the page. Or you cannot. So I'm not going to do anything to the back because I don't yet know what I will be using this little scrappy pad for. But it will be in my stash, ready to use in my next journal. It also can just be a little part of a little Happy Mail thing that you might send out to somebody. So there's a little scrappy pad. There's a bigger scrappy pad. And I can make another little scrappy pad out of this one. And this packaging here would be a matchbook type. And I don't care that it has holes in it because I would put the decorative something on top of this. Like, let's see if I have anything here laying on my desk. Oh, I don't know. I don't see anything interesting. Let's see if I have anything in here interesting that I might lay on top. See, I might, no, not that. I want to put I would like to put a picture. I mean, like you could put a Tim Holtz paper doll or whatever. You can collage on that and then do something. And then you just do the same thing. Your scrappy pad would just be attached underneath here. And you would leave this part open enough so that you could slip this in. And I also would cut this down some because it will be a little bit hard to slip in as tall as it is. But I will be making one out of this as well. So that is my scrap busting idea. Make scrappy pads, cover the backs, the information on the backs of product tags, and get yourself a stash of tags and journaling cards that will be ready to do something on the front because you've already got the back done and they're just sitting in your stash waiting to be used. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I appreciate you coming along. I hope you enjoyed this scrap busting idea, or busting scraps is what I'm calling this idea. And if you like the content, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You'll get further videos from me. I appreciate all of you coming along, and I appreciate those who have already subscribed. Thank you very much. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.